Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Bryan Cooper Show. Today's episode is all about prosperity. Would you like to have more success, more prosperity in your life? I think it's an easy yes, but how do we go about that? What are some principles? What are some methods that we can apply that make our life more meaningful? We have more success, we become more prosperous. Well, let me give you some tips today that can make a huge difference when we apply and understand the law of service and prosperity. And that episode starts now. Have you ever wondered what the secret is to success? How do you become more prosperous? How do we grow in life? I don't think anybody wants to stay stuck. In fact, I think being stuck is a terrible place to be, which is why I love personal development so much, which is why I study this material and share it with other people, because I was tired of being stuck. I wanted changes in my life. So I was searching for those changes. And when you search for something and you're intentional, you're going to come across some answers. Well, I found a lot of really good things that I want to share with you today on this episode, because I know that our life can improve if we just do a few certain things. But sometimes it's just a matter of understanding certain laws that are put in place to our benefit. When you work with the law, you get a benefit. If you step outside the law, then life can be more of a struggle. If we want more prosperity in our life, we have to understand, what is prosperity? Well, a lot of times, we think it's just having money. More money in our life would be great. I love, being able to buy things and be able to do things, which is great. And so prosperity has an element of earning X amount of dollars. And so somebody would look at somebody that's wealthy and say they're very prosperous. Well, that's a piece of it. But there are other people that are extremely healthy. Like, they've invested in their body, they work out, they eat the right things, they have a great mindset, they're very positive, and there's a prosperity to their health. That other person that may be wealthy but doesn't have good health would look at their life and say they're very prosperous in their health. Or you could have a really good relationship, a really good home life, a really good family, and they've worked really hard at creating an environment that everybody can thrive in and everybody can grow in, because they've invested in that. And that relationship, that home life, could be very prosperous in that regard. So you can have prosperity in a relationship, you can have prosperity in finances, you can have it in your health. So it's not just monetary gains, it has to do with, I think, a successful and fulfilled, prosperous life in all areas. So we need to understand, what is prosperity? It's not just money, it's in every area of our life. Well, if one area of our life is not working very well, then what do we need to do? How can we spice that up? How can we make that a little bit better? And I think it's just a matter of understanding the law and applying it in this way. So we're going to kind of dive into, what is that? Years ago, I studied under Earl Nightingale, and he was talking about the law of service and prosperity. And then later on, I came across a book called Working with the Law by Dr. Raymond Holliwell. And it's such a good book. Yeah, I mean, I recommend anybody reading it, because it's just packed full of principles and laws that when you work with them and you study it, it's like, this stuff makes sense. Like, if I just apply this, I think my life could be different. But again, the only way that we can change our life is if we apply something new to it on a regular basis until it becomes a part of us, and then our life begins to change. It starts working in a direction that we want it to go, because now we're harmonizing with the law, that when we act on something, when we do something, it just works. So if we want more prosperity in our life, well, why don't we just start doing more prosperous type things? Well, what's the backside of prosperity? It has to do with giving. When we give of ourselves, the more we give, the more we add value to the lives of other people, the more prosperous we're going to become. If you look at all business owners, if you look at people in the financial world, if you look at people in service and community work, it's all about giving back, utilizing their talents and their abilities to make other people's lives better. And when we're in a constant state of adding value to the lives of other people, our life will improve. We become more prosperous in those areas. So just think about your life like, hey, I'm doing pretty good here, but this other area, not so much. How can I add more value to that situation? How can I be grateful for that? How can I change my attitude? We could be a business owner and we're providing a service and we decide to expand. We decide to get bigger. So we're going to add more employees, which creates more income for other people. We're going to provide a newer service, a better service, and then we're going to get really good at executing that service so people really feel safe at coming and buying and purchasing whatever that is that can make their life better. When we produce products and service that have a benefit, that's a powerful way to serve other people. It's not just a matter of selling a product so you can get money. It's literally creating something that when other people buy it, their life gets better. How can we do more of those things? What if we're working for someone and we just go to work and we kind of just skate by and it's just doing what we have to do to get through the day and get our paycheck and go home. But we decide, you know what? What if I just put in a little bit more effort here? What if I am a little bit more grateful for my job and then I decide to add value to my employer? Add more value to the marketplace in the job that I'm doing. And I'm just going to show up every day and make the decision that this is going to be better. This is going to get really good. And if I just keep applying a better attitude to my current situation, what are the effects? Well, potentially your income level could go up because the employer sees, hey, this person's putting in more time. They're putting in more effort. There's more value that they've added to the company. So in return, your value should go up. Your wages should go up because we decided that we're going to do a better job of what we're doing. We're going to add more value. And if you don't get that pay raise, if you don't get that value add, at least you have the right mindset. But there's always another opportunity out there. If you're not appreciated where you're at because you are intentionally adding value, you know what you're worth, there's always somebody else willing to hire somebody on a higher level if you're not valued where you're at. But the most important thing that we can do is add value to that situation. Now, it could be at your home, like adding more value to how we interact with our kids, how we interact with our spouse. I mean, what can you do differently on a daily basis that just gives back? Because the more you pour into something, the more you give of yourself, you create more abundance in your life. In fact, it's really interesting how when the process of giving back and giving and adding value, you start to see more value out there. So then you create more opportunities to add value because it's like this cyclical effect of if you're in this, I'm just trying to get mode and constantly get, we shut off the flow of abundance because we're in a constant mode of consumption. In fact, I want to read this paragraph from the book, Working with the Law. And it goes like this. Giving, which is the first or fundamental law of life, is the first law of all creation. The attitude of getting is the law of life in a congested state or in repressed action. As long as getting dominates a mind, that mind is in a paralyzed condition, being limited in its action in according with the fundamental law of creation, which I think is a powerful, powerful phrase that we should all just really consider. If I want to get more in life, you can't do it by just thinking about getting. You have to give. You have to create. You have to be in a place where you're just adding value to the lives of other people. I mean, think about it. If you were in a relationship and all you did was like, I'm trying to get from this relationship, the relationship wouldn't last very long. You have to give back. And I know there's this law of reciprocity, whatever you give, you're going to get back, which does happen, but that shouldn't be the primary intent. It should be, I'm just going to add value to the lives of other people. Well, what are these 7 easy tips? I wrote these down and I just want to go through these. How can we add value to other people's lives? So number 1, you can listen actively. Take time to truly listen to others without interrupting. Show genuine interest. Ask thoughtful questions and make people feel heard and understood. It's pretty simple, but all you have to do is just take time to listen actively, and that's adding value to other people's lives. Number 2, you can offer encouragement. Simple words of affirmation can uplift someone's spirit. Recognize their strengths, encourage their dreams, and celebrate their efforts, not just their outcomes. Sometimes we just need to be like, hey, you're doing a really good job. They may not have arrived where you think they need to be, but we're all in the process of change. So just by adding encouraging words, you're adding value to the lives of other people. It doesn't take it doesn't take time or much time out of our day to do that, but it is value add. And then number 3, you can share your knowledge or skills. This is really good. We all have something of value to offer people. So teach someone something new, offer advice, or mentor them in areas that you have experience or expertise. Helping others grow is one of the greatest ways to add value. If you ever got up in the morning and say, hey, how can I just share my knowledge, my information with other people? How can I just add value? Just by sharing an experience, being willing to share maybe a struggle that you've worked through and how you've overcame that. And somebody that's going through the same thing says, oh, cool, that's the encouragement I need so I can get through this thing too. And then number 4, be generous with your time. So offer your time to help others in small ways, whether it's assisting with a task, lending a hand during a project, or just being available for support when needed. These are just things that we can just be more open to. Hey, I'm going to be more generous with my time. When somebody needs a lending hand, I'll just set aside my scrolling, maybe a TV show, and I will go help. And there's such a benefit that happens from doing that. You know the feeling, if you've ever helped somebody before, you did something for them, and it's just like, you feel pretty good inside. It's so much better than consuming and just sitting there and trying to consume from TV. I mean, we have so many distractions in our life that sometimes if we just say, you know what, I'm just going to set aside a little bit of that distracting stuff that happens and add more value to the lives of other people, the benefit is that we'd feel so much better. But it's not to feel so much better primarily. It's really just keep adding value to the lives of other people. We want to make this world a better place. And then number 6, provide honest and constructive feedback. Help people improve by offering kind but honest feedback. Focus on helping them grow, not on criticizing, by sharing specific ways that they can improve. So we're like, hey, I noticed this. Could I offer you a suggestion? Could I offer you some advice? If they say yes, like, this is what I've done and it worked pretty well, and then they're able to take it and run with it. And that's just another way that we can just add value. And then number 7, I really love this, is be present and positive. So bring a positive attitude and energy to every interaction. Your enthusiasm, your kindness, and uplifting presence can inspire and brighten someone's day. Have you ever read the book, The Happiness Advantage by Sean Aker? I listened to him speak one time at a conference, brilliant speaker, but he talked about how by simply smiling in an environment, or I think it was this experiment that they did where they had this hospital, everybody decide that they were going to use like, hello, how are you doing, with a smile everywhere they go. So when they would walk down the hallway, they would just simply smile at somebody, ask them how they were doing, and get on with their day. And it literally changed the entire atmosphere of the whole entire hospital. And I believe that people actually probably became healthier and recovered faster because the energy there was so good. People were just smiling. Smiling takes literally no time. As you walk past somebody, you could ignore someone, or you could offer, hey, how you doing? A smile as your same motion. You don't lose any time, but it can change somebody's day. I used to love going to the store with my daughter when she was 2 years old. Her name's Hope, so I'd put her in the front cart and we'd go through the aisles, and she would lighten up the aisle of everybody that she came across. It was so cool. I had so much fun because she was just smiling and waving, hi, hi. She didn't care who it was, didn't care what they looked like. She was just happy and smiling and waving. She changed the energy of the grocery store. Every aisle that she went down, people would smile, they would wave back. Sometimes I would see, sometimes people have a bad day, and we all do, and you don't know what life circumstances they go through. And I would just love how she would lighten up their day. And so I said, why can't I do that? So I made it more of a practice in my life to just smile as you walk by people, because it makes such a difference. Simple ways to add value. Takes hardly any time. So those are 7 easy tips to add value to other people. And then, what does giving back do for us? I have 7 different ways that giving actually improves our life as a result of us deciding to give back. And number 1, it strengthens relationships. So giving fosters trust and connection. People appreciate genuine acts of kindness and feel more connected to those who give without expecting anything in return. So this builds stronger personal and professional relationships. So by giving of ourselves, we're going to strengthen our relationships. So number 2, it creates positive energy. Generosity generates positive emotions like joy, gratitude, and fulfillment. This positivity not only boosts your mood, but also spreads to those around you, creating a ripple effect of good energy. So we're creating positive energy all around us, just like hope through the grocery store. Like, hey, everybody, super simple. But we're changing the lives of individual by just saying, I'm going to give of myself. And then number 3, it boosts mental and physical health. This is super cool. Just by giving, research shows that giving reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and oxytocin. So the act of giving back makes you healthier and happier. Good reason to give. Then there is number 4, attracts more opportunities. When you give selflessly, people are naturally more inclined to help, collaborate, or offer opportunities in return. So generosity opens the doors that you may not have even anticipated. I was talking about that earlier. When we give of ourselves, sometimes we just get more in an abundant type mindset. We see opportunities. We need to see opportunities if we're going to grow, if we're going to be more prosperous in life. So why don't we just keep giving of ourselves, knowing that there is a return, yes, but we want more opportunities to take action on. By giving of ourselves, it'll create those. And then number 5, this is great, builds better community. Giving creates a culture of support and kindness. This not only helps individuals in need, but also strengthens the entire community, leading to collective success and well-being. Pretty powerful way to apply giving. Remember, to get, you have to give. To be prosperous, we have to just be adding value consistently. 6, shifts focus to abundance. Giving shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. When you recognize you have something to give, you naturally attract more of what you share, be it love, resources, or opportunities. So you're starting to get the picture of why giving can actually change our current state financially or physically or mentally, spiritually. I mean, we need to be in the act of constantly pouring out. And then number 7, it inspires other people when we give. Your generosity encourages others to pay it forward. This creates a chain reaction of giving, multiplying its impact far beyond what you initially gave. So the more we give, the more we do receive. And it's just written right in here in these actions. And I think of this analogy. Think about a tree. A tree grows up, and maybe it's a fruit tree, and it just produces this beautiful fruit. And it's, say, an apple tree, and you eat the apple and you consume it, and it's great. And then the tree at the end of the year, it sheds its leaves, it sheds its fruit for other people, and then it goes in a dormant state, and then it comes back the next year, and it lives its whole life in production. It lives there just to serve. It has grown. It produces this apple. We consume it. We get the benefit, the nutrients, and we're able to move on with our life. But the thing about the tree is that it never consumes its own fruit. It's only there to give. And that's the same with our talents and our abilities, which is why personal development is so important, because the more that we develop ourselves, the more we can give back to the world. The more we give to other people, the more we add value, the more things can change, because our talents and our abilities are not just for us. If we just keep them to ourselves, what's the point? Imagine somebody that's ever accomplished something significant in their life and they had kept that talent to themselves. Well, nobody would have known about it. There was no benefit. And so it just grew, lived, died, and there was no point. Our purpose, I believe, here is to discover as much talent and ability as we possibly can, and then use that to make other people's lives better. I believe that we should create things that when others consume it, it improves their life. Most of the time, we're in such a consumption mode that all we're doing is consuming all the time. Well, that's not great, because we're creators. We're meant to produce, we're meant to create. That's our design. And if we're in constant consumption mode, that's in getting mode. And so we actually push off more abundance in our life. We have to get out there and create. We have to get out there and add value to the lives of other people. So think, how can I add value to everybody around me? You could have a small sphere of influence. You could have only a few people in your life, but you can add value right where you're at. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be homeless and smile at somebody walking by that's having a bad day, and you've made their day better, even though you had nothing. You could be somebody that feels like, I just don't have any value to add to the world. You always have something of value to add. Your experiences, the things that you've gone through, are really meant to be gone through in a way that if we look back and we use those sometimes frustrating moments, it can be a way to inspire other people that they can make it through difficult times too. Think about how we can just improve every area of our life and then take action on it, because we are here to make a difference. So just apply this law of service and prosperity to your life. If I want to be more prosperous, I have to give back. I have to add value. How do I do that? Start writing it down. Start journaling. What are ways that I can add value to individuals' lives? We can make such a difference if we get out of our own way and if we say, you know what? I am just going to add value. It's not about getting, it's about giving. It's about making a difference in other people's lives. So let's just be active with this. Let's get out there. Let's share. Let's be grateful for everything that we have. Let's make a difference in people's lives by giving back, and prosperity will grow. Thanks so much.